Hello, everyone. For your mama Kwaba, about the Gawa Hour Jumedi, so Medini Tina Sapon, the host of the Gawa Hour. Now, maybe say, what Pomudin Honsem et to say, and there, your name, young brother, Mr. George, Usu Apia, and I ever to him come on, afa psychosis, ebi I know what is psychosis in can, any psychosis, not unum at the crow. Zimba, which I won't share Jumedi, no, not Mombrana yen to chim come on, you be the Apomudin home come on. The Gawa Hour Jumedi no and our Sugusu utie no Jumedi waiting so asha yen ewo YouTube any Facebook and edinkra platforms ni sinyina nti mutagi obi no bi so ntagi obi no bi so ntagi obi no mra na yemra yemedi apomude hon komo nti na meka obiem say the Gawa Hour Jumedi no eso and our Sugusu utie no mumrai na yendi komo na ansa na no metwa me ho akwaje aboafo nkrato abasese ya na yede nkomo die no ahyehye so Jumedi omo maso ya sen ama yede brem na wachi bia our cares organic mixtures our cares is a wupinkum papa asra ama wedie no atoso na ha eno ane our cares se na so obeya yawo se ikutwa bi da wo ho se wo dark spots se wo pese wedie no etwabusu kama se medie ya enku ameka fama wa our cares nku masra emema nso sra nti wuji bi asra ma wedie atoso no na wuji bi nso ama wo ho kafo wuji bi ama wura for our cares 917-835-3155 na kwaje wodie wo for our cares nku no customized nku nti wo friend na wachire ne se we and e post na so betime twa picture kwa dia send no wo de send na wo be hwa so na wa ya ma oye wie ya nso eni ahe na odi abro se o meli de brewa obe meli e de abro ene se ono a e driver de brewa or de bebro nti for our case na koje unku afi na meka wo se all white boat cruise no e baso ejebo eja oye aba bedu ye nyina ye nim edincrafo afi bia July bia no omo de eco boat cruise into the 10th edition na baso no nti se wonje with ticket jo de ticket no $80 per couple single and $150 per couple nti se wonje wo de jo de numbers no na etwagusu was screen ne so no nti fra MCOG and I said DJ Jam na kwaje o ticket and I said wetimi afre men so wonsa ebe kan wo de se wato ba ha na wo pe bibi wo pe obi ene na di sunsun mu nkomo na me kanfo helping hands heart ene di amount me de number no ebe to screen ne so nti mombra na yentwetwe yapomudi ho nkomo na me ka wo se wapomudi ho nsem ete say ene yene yem brother Mr. George Usu Apia ena ebe twetwe nkomo May the month of May mental health awareness month nti ni science ene ebe twetwe nkomo afa mental health na your friend psychosis and they say understanding psychosis any psychosis ebia na what is psychosis da but unim at the crow and I say onti ase e don't na yaji nkonya ye be chirechire mu se wo asem bisa nso a na eja wo de wasem bisa ato ase ho no na yetimi a chirechire mu nti munje mbre na ye nchichi nkomo Mr. George mma kwa baba the Gawa Hour Jumedi ne so
yeah minia
yeah, I'm part of to say.
Nyamadum, who ya pa. You did say on so who ye.
Nyamiadum, ye. I young brother George, registered nurse, or dealing with mental health and all that. Into the nano and a home como and ye better channel. Into Sawaba soa, not wash a Jumedino, a mamma said ye bear would be so bad no about bitsy, or basso soa. Eya na emprepi ni bi me ya almost say me ma almost shout out mpacho se wo de o comment to ase ho no ma na se wo type dey to ase ho na me hu na mama wo shout out nti so person me bo wudin na hu se wo so a na wo de wudin ato ho no se wonya me friend wo Facebook I mean use me phone na me hu nti no mpacho se wa ba so a na wo de wudin ato ho no na amount welcome to the Gawa Hour. I Mr. George say catch a psychosis and a psychosis
yo medasi the kind of the nchiaba otiefo nyina say omaje bre na omutie na you educate yourself about what mental illness and psychosis is all about the kind of ansana we beti psychosis as in say chiremu what mental illness say adwemu yare ene dey adwemu yare ya dia ema yentimi enye yesese ye ewo like you perform regularly what as normal you because a normal human being as all you know say bibi touch him wo wadwemu na wontimi performance and name and like I say you are having a mental illness. And psychosis is a group of illnesses. You can't have both you're afraid being bipolar, you're afraid being schizophrenia, you're afraid being major depressive disorder. Sa niyama no kabo mu a your friend psychosis no. So it's psychosis itself, it's not a sickness, but it's a group of mental illness that comes together to form psychosis. And when we say psychosis now, psychosis is the most severe of the mental illness diseases that affect us. They actually when it comes to psychosis, and I say it's a group of illnesses which includes schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, major depressive disorder, and psychosis.
What triggers psychosis?
Well, and scientists are here, people have studied, but they don't have concrete cause. So I deal with pattern and psychosis and I said the mental illness. But if you know, actually say there are three major things. It's me massa adiano eba, which deals with your environment, which deals with your physical illness. As a case of physical illness, I say be a yaribia. It me bow say that say by body nankasa you yaribu I friend autoimmune disorders. I say body nankasa ne start ABB timi koso sa anasa wunya head injury. Bia and also to make also psychosis and I say young na be away warm you had an infection be as you grow it can also develop into make you have mental illness. And like I say environmental factors now and then war around us say emotional trauma be like I say can see be a broken heart and then it may trigger psychosis be a war social and family stresses be a doubt so your body cannot and your mind cannot handle it. It can break you down and then you develop psychosis. And then we have something like genetic predisposition. We do into there is likely to say you cannot other medical fields say breast cancer, pancreatic cancer, running in the family. The same thing also applies to psychosis and mental illness.
Yo, I was here for so and I make out said the gawa our jumedi, and I was sugusu uti, and then we are talking about mental health. Now the can't want some psychosis, and I am brother HHM, H-Rayan. And this was in Bisa if a topic you want with me the wasm Bisa not to comment section, Honor de Mayan, na you are no. Intimate pacho, a man member who is more likely to develop psychosis.
There is no clear cut percentage of people are psychosis, but the most thing that we have to know with psychosis is the age range now. Most people develop psychosis. Mostly it's around the late teen to the early 20s. You find yourself from 15 up to 25. That period of time, and most people they develop mental illness. And about 3% of population is at risk of developing psychosis. And it's not like a regular diabetes because there is a lot of stresses and most people are prone to developing psychosis. The most important thing about it is early detection. So ne ekoso nipa no mu na obetumi aye de aso ano ntem so one to me anso ano ntem that is when it develops into a full blown mental psychosis and a mental illness.
Okay, Ntimpacho, what are some of the signs and symptoms of psychosis?
Okay, the medical canon regarding signs and symptoms, there are early signs, early warnings, early signs, and that is the key. So, utumi hu se bia oba ana obusu eni bi hu se bibisa ekoso hu sa changes na now so ano ntema o seek help and etimi help the person from not developing fully blown mental illness. Into I said here, ubenya flu you start sneezing, the same way with mental illness and psychosis, assassin obi oha aya na yakase nkwala ni bi oha obi so nko timi shedem sa yes he's just moody and he's just withdrawn. These are some of the symptoms. So people like you become you isolate yourself, you don't feel energetic about other things. So you always stay to yourself. You are not interested in anything. You can't sleep well. One kasa who say why dream so you cannot reason right. I say something is not right in your head. These are some of the early signs of psychosis. There are a lot of things that I can go, but say while nipa who say I say take us be those are some a chat and who all this is, but beginning you hear all this is you'll be hearing voices be TV because we be TV the kasa the things be anyway you feel so way you say, but in reality it is not there. You see things, you hear things. Those are some of the signs of developing mental illness and psychosis.
You create, like you are creating something. Ubi ane won kasa yo kra na o kasa na say as a wote hona nkwa na hu didi nkomo ne sa nema sa no. Okay. Yo ebusiafo na meka mo say the gawa our jumadi no and our suguso utie no and Mr. George Usu Apia oye registered nurse and edi nkomo ye kasafa mental health May the month of mental health awareness. Nti ene ye kan psychosis ho asem. Nti mpacho se waba so na wa share jumadi no e de amayen na mefa akwanya yi so ache ebusiafo ene adofo omo wo so omo share yen. Miss Francisca Njoku share yen, Sister Salome or Henny Ampon share yen, Sister Georgina Pau and so or share yen, Mr. But Sir Daniel was so, Mr. Padis Insia was so, Mr. John Otin was so, Nanajua Echumama San so also or share it was for answer your better was so no me try me home aje abo phone crack so abasi say ya na the Jumedi no ashe so it was for say open cable and I said open box open all the channels at a very affordable rate. Na me come for Edinkra DJ box and the amount. So who per box bia busumi bia is $10. Umpewe na open den. And one say obefre DJ Gem 347-350-1857. Offer na obetia to one amount. Say ye ka say ye say wo bia opese o sha. Say ye opese o sha me e wo DJ box ne so a. And one say ubie ewo food ne so bia wo abonten na obese wo sha ubie ya wo de to Edinkra na channel 1 na eda so ubetimi ahwe me say yai ye ka say ye wo a lot of Ghana channels so UTV was so Net 2 was so Adom was so Sankofa Joy FM and de akika hu ni nyina was so person she dwumadi say ye no na say okwa Edinkra ubemu se me da so na o hwe me say ya afen so all the American channels from ABC7, CNN, Al Jazeera, the Akika Hunyana, Spanish channels nyina edina bi ewo so. It's just $10 a month. Nti no ane se wo be friend number na me kan no na wakwa akwaje wo de. Se wo pe money transfer eno nso omo rate no ewo soro asese a de me kan fa ma wo lolly cash. O download app ni sese ya e baby sa say o promo code and also we bought edinkra e de ahye so ADINKRA. Unya de boss pe na unsa aka this unsa aka bonus into download the lolly cash o download do a obehu say they are making app ni bi ho no a and one say wo dey send this sticker but lolly cash there so your business and I say wo person your transaction if you Ghana bre obi wa ha no a utimi eye ne sa omo rate no so e wo soro chain de ekika ho ne nyina nti me kan for lolly cash e de amount afi na me kan say the gawa awajimedie no e na wasugusu a utie no jimedie ye na watch bia ewo efidue mu ha from 7 p.m. sharp na de ahyehyɛ so ndi so was in bisa utimi e de o question eto ha no na ye yiwa no nti ene no psychosis ho asem na ye kan nti Mr. George, how do you diagnose psychosis?
Diagnosing psychosis, it takes a lot of skills from reputable psychiatrists, and because there is the tendency of people getting misdiagnosed, and most of the times there is a collaboration between a psychologist and a psychiatrist, and then they will interview you, and when they see how you present certain things, based on that, and then they have their manual, I'm friend DXM, I forgot the name. That is what they use as a tool to guide them, because it's very difficult to see what's going on in somebody's brain. Mental illness, a problem, and I said there is a lot of stigma around it now. People don't accept when their family members are going through that, because if you have because of Nipano and the whole be no, and I say because it's hard for you to see what's going on in their head. And diagnosing it's a little difficult, but with new researches and stuff, doctors are able to do interview. They have a manual that they go through. They interview you, they ask you questions, and when you are talking, as you are talking, when somebody has mental illness, you see they have jumbo thoughts. We decide no question be no kind different thing. Assembly or kind of in so into who say and yet one time almost be that's why they diagnosed. So it has to be period of time continuous. No say no. And then, like I said, Mr. Who seek help, and I say, who be sa say, Koso, be and now Busu maybe in terminal who seek help now. With new medications near there, it can help you to be productive. Now, one, I say, a full blown, that is where it's difficult to control and manage, but it is manageable, and it is, you can say, men can say curable, but you can live a productive life when you are detected early. Say you to me in term in the pre-illness stage, and a bit to me are helpful from not developing full-blown mental illness.
Now can maybe say there is a cure to that, but since you're what can't you really not to say we move on? Is there a treatment for that?
Oh, treatment today, absolutely. Thank God for medications. There are a lot of treatment. Like I said, psychosis itself, is a group of illnesses, and you're combining your friends. There are, different medications. Combination of medication are almost used to help you, and going a little bit scientific or biological about the mental illness. In our brain, we have these neurotransmitters. It's a communicating way, dream, and these neurotransmitters, and how we think, how we feel, everything that goes on in the brain is based on neurotransmitters. And we have 4 neurotransmitters that really contribute to mental illness. And the first one is dopamine, serotonin, norepinephrine, and then we have GABA. So those neurotransmitters, when they are released into a synapse, like I say, lock and key. The neurotransmitter is released, then another picks it up. But when there is a problem in the brain, when the neurotransmitter is released, when there is a neurotransmitter released, where it's supposed to be, it stays in the synapse, and then I say assign go back to where it came from, and when it builds up at one particular place then there is an imbalance, chemical imbalance in your brain, and that causes it. Into these medications now, it targets. They look at you, and it targets what neurotransmitter is in play here, because there are neurotransmitter beyond word here. Oh yeah. Let's say dopamine a boy Emma yetimi either say yeah excited or anasi yeah moody. And to say if you have too much dopamine in your synapse now, you become so excited, and I say hyperactive nisa neman. And they will use a medication that will control your production of dopamine. Now I hear that when you start balancing, and then when you are so depressed, then they know what neurotransmitter is involved. So they use a medication that builds up your dopamine for you to get that balance. Into medication, there are a lot of medication that are grouped into anti-anxiety medications. They have one that are antidepressive medications. They have SSRIs, like serotonin reuptake intake medications that helps you to build your serotonin that is in your neurotransmitters. And medications there, treatment there. There's a lot of treatment, which is not a treatment to cure, but a treatment to manage.
Okay.
Yeah.
For Namika will say the Gawa our Jumeti, and I was Sugusi. Jumedi Ubetimi Ashaye, our Facebook, Edinkra, Multimedia NY, and also with me so Ashaye, or YouTube, with me Ashaye, platforms missing and there your brother Mr. George Usu appear and I come if a psychosis home into say as in bisa ebiana afe na wabaso say afe na wabaso ma wapa eba jumedi so psychosis home asem na ye kan wakeka nsem bebre ekwan a obefa so ebehu say we go through that ekwan obefa so yebeboa wo ama wotimi efimu ye ntimi ensa na mo yetimi esoso ano enti se asembisa bi ewo honom na se opese obisa na wo de ato ase honom e de amaye enti Brother George, since was okay age from the age yetimi diagnosis will be with psychosis. Now maybe say medication so no say kobane say obi a teenager na obi nso a adult. Is it the same medication every the teenager and any adult nana?
Look, that's a good question. Regarding dosaging, with every medication, they have this FDA standard of age equality to the medications, and it's very difficult when it comes to psych medications. Getting the right one for each individual, and age-wise, like as paying for when you are like about say 65, naturally when they have some neurologic thing going on and they can develop psychosis, paying for. And when you are prescribing medication for such population now, the dosages, it won't be the same as somebody who is young. And like the young ones, and like when somebody is in school. One thing I want to say before escapes me, say there is a lot of stigma, especially in our people, in our Ghanaian community. So be a neba any so say na or school na your friend no mama yes here they have the people, they have the resources to diagnose this case. I say no, you have to put on the medication. Hey, mommy for and I say the family will resist. But when they are young like that and they see these things, and I say they are put on medication and they can adjust the medication as they go on for them to get a stable, dosage and as a stable therapeutic range for them. and one encomaculade too dull, and as encomaculade too hyper, and they can live, they can go to school, they can do everything. Into dosage, it depends on when I'm diagnose the panel, because it be or certain symptoms when we still out, they don't report it, they don't say anything, and before they realize now a full-blown mental illness, and the person starts, he's out of touch with reality, because he doesn't see as we see. In such a situation, dosaging has to be very high to bring the person down. I say because people are so hyper, be weeks or a nakra or nerdy. Into some person who say, yeah, the local hospital, man dry, heavy to keep the person calm, and then as time goes on, I said, not draining the barrel, then they decrease, they titrate the medication to a therapeutic range, be a bebuano. Into dosage, with adults and kids, there are different, and the doctors will do, and they will do experiment, they will try, they will start from the minimum dose and see how it affects you, and then they titrate it up, and when it gets to a point, then they stop. And the unfortunate thing is, when it'll be a full-blown mental and psychosis now, or you're out of touch with reality, now your man draw, now a fee or start to say, or drink correct, like not dreaming cleaner, if you say, what's your then so there is a high rate of recidivism. People when they are admitted and I say they go, they come, they go, they come because of that phenomenon that go on when they are healed. They think they can think clearly, so they are healed. Then they stop taking their medications.
Okay. They tell me inside with a teenager beer like or ADHD, per what name I make a share is what I'm telling you. Or you started with medications, or more than not started with Adderall. Into now your man Adderall, no your money because not 10 biana why hyper. Into your course could be now you're a friend, Into you started with Adderall, and then from there they move on to or more the man enough during the calming down during the day, but then or back after school now a finish system na ya san e ma ne foforo nti e ba ne sa no na esese ye ma no ewiade but then ye ma na ewiade no so enwumre wontimi na so it's like the parents are up all night nti na I think some medication bi mo pese o mo beji no and afi so no like it draw different the ntia no on pese o beji because ya ma ne bi e be calm ne down but then enwumre so ntimi na it's na ama aye insem bebre e de ama mama no but say ya no de wo say omo yi daytime de na fi ho no mo a omo ma no your friend say Adderall no
extended release.
Yeah, extended release instead of be as you see it calming down. But with that being said, what are some of the side effects of the medications?
Side effects, I mean, newer medications, I can say being in a psych institution for almost 16 years, newer medications coming up have fewer side effects, but mostly some of the side effects are dry mouth, you become very dry, and it depends on the medication that you are taking. Some of them, they have this, they call tardive dyskinesia, that's involuntary hand movement, because of the medication, and there are some who have, shuffling gait, I say, but this is a prolonged, when you use it for a long time, that is when these side effects, occur. But the immediate, side effect is, how do we call it? Like somewhere very sensitive to sunlight and stuff like that. They become very thirsty. Because of the dry mouth, so I know I dilute the sodium or system near there. There are a lot of side effects. That's when you compare, say, ubusuani na obey namabonte out of touch, all that now here compared to side effect, and one of them too is weight gain. And then with men, some of the medications, it affects their manhood near the day. Some of the men also develop like women features, they get heavy breasts and stuff like that. But those are like old medications, all those side effects in here profound. But with newer medications, and also depends on the dosage, it helps. It be also like I know one medication, like clozapine is a very good medication for psychosis, but then also very serious side effect of they call it agglutinocytosis, which is the depletion of white blood cells count in your in your body. They have to be doing blood work every week, every 2 weeks, every month to make sure say you are keeping your cell counts in the right range. And there are other side effects which are the same side as a friend is saying. Clozapine can give you drooling, but there are medications that will help you from not drooling. Some people take the medication, they don't have that problem. Some take the medication, they have a problem of drooling. They give them other medications to counteract the side effect. Most of the medication are like the popular one that they use is cogentin and acebenztropine, and then other drops be able to help with their drooling near the other.
And I said, yeah, the auto for life, and
yes, that is unfortunate situation, but there are a lot of people here, especially in America. Now, we don't have that capacity to diagnose people. There are a lot of people with mental illness working around here, lawyers and stuff doing their work, taking their medications. It's about acceptance. When people accept, say, yes, this is the problem. When we compare like mental illness to say high blood pressure, say one for high blood pressure medication, your pressure is going through the roof. You can have a brain aneurysm and stuff like that. People see that, they feel the effects. But when it comes to mental illness, now it's hard for you to see into who the real problem people are facing. But when you yourself come to realize that yes, this is a problem that I have, and I take medication, I function. You stay on your medication, like it's a management, to manage you. When you are born with type 1 diabetes, it's not curable, but you can have maintenance medication that will help you. And in the same way, I will advocate to people, say, when you are diagnosed or put on medication, please have the realization, say, yeah, like normal blood pressure medication, I would take it, and it helps you to function. And you take your medication and you function properly. There is no harm in doing that.
Oh, yeah, Ghanaian community, stigma, yeah, the best home. And then the most, you cramples today, BBI and Bible. BBI, minimum tia me, as a 7 no Thailand or Name Hotome, but Makako Bompire first. I'm not saying say a mom pie you, but first things first. Ube no we drone no about umpire, not just a nina I come together, not a wow. But it's like, it's 90% empire, 10% effort with whatever that we do. If we see for Namika said the Gawa our Jumedino and our Subusu Utieno and then brother Mr. George Usu up here and I education come if psychosis young brother or registered nurse or dealing with mental on it like mental health hospital na ye adwuma nti na o cheche ye nsemu wabobo bebre so nti se afi na wabaso a na wa hye adwuma die no e de amayen se wo asem bisa so a wo ho akwanya se obebisa meton ade abasese ya na ya to aso ebusia se wato ba ha ana se enema enkoye usika sem enkoye ewa wabrabo mu a make for helping hands heart ene de amawo se ebia na obeso daye basa obeso daye na ebia wona msre so wona ha ana se we adwuma so ukoba da bia na so unhu ano a helping hands heart se frɛ wo mo na omo beboa eno ne se obefrɛ wo mo ewo healing hands heart sorry and answer be from 347-968-7474 o friend na or no between komo na wa boa wo say Yɛnyina yɛnim say July bia ɛde nkrafo ɛde yɛkɔ boat ride afi nso omunyi mfiri mu yɛnyina yɛde yɛni ɛkyerɛ mu July 5th July 4th Independence Day ade akye a yɛbɛkɔ akɔsisi yɛn ho so ɛwɔ nsuo ne so nti sɛ wongye wo ticket a na wagye wo ticket na ticket no is fast selling afi no yɛse yɛwɔ surprise headliner oba ebeba ase ama ye me pese mechanics am pese ye ma me green light no na nipa na oba no wa wotia wa na beto ticket na asa to bi achecha ma nkrofo se mo ye kokuo na se mo pe discounter eno ane se mo be frɛ numbers na etwagu wo screen so no betimi afrɛ MCOG and I said DJ Jam and I said ubetimi afrɛ number yi 347 3501857 no akwaje wo de afi the 10th edition enie umpewe na opede he eye tatashe afi na me ka mo se woni obi a obo ne homoden e wo the community mu anase society mu se oya adoye obo anyanka obo anwisi a afi bia edinkrafo edi the Heroes Excellence Awards no ediba ye bo omo a omo bo modern e wo ye community anase society no abaso nti se woni obi a eno anase obefre MCOG and I said DJ Jam for number yi na nominate you me nominate more than one person na ya so would nominate nipa krona ye be check nipa na say aso nipa na de ne buy no pictures ni videos na wo de buy no e sa pepepa na ya hwe so na ya bo nipa no abaso e nchen imprepi no obi wu a na ya ko nipa semesi no ya adoye no ye say onte entedi nkrafo se nipa ne ti ase no ombebo nipa na abaso ama nipa ne hu se ni nwuma pa a oyeye no aso ebusua ani aso community ani enti ombebo o abaso enti November Saturday after Thanksgiving no eho na me kodi media because Thanksgiving no me ye adwuma enti anyina ye be call the Edinkra Heroes Excellence Awards no afi yesi president bi ebefi Ghana aba presidency TV so an you home you know when she ada but over Heroes Night na obetimi abehia bi na one ne atwa picture de akwa akọba with them said there be a mutual bi di to me hui yenko ene yenko twa pictures bi na yenfa na ye nominate obi ehun hia pa nti November bia no Edinkrafo omo the Heroes Night no e de brain na mechiachia adofo nso a ewo so sister Cynthia Mensa o so sister Salome Tachibia Ukukwache ewo so a ohye o si great topic sister Felicia Anka ewo so sister Karen Efiasewa Nana Ekwia Echa the Gawa Paparazzi ono so ewo so a ohye sister Ivy Blue ewo so oh thank you so much and sister Patience Anthony also ewoso say good evening Madam President looking gorgeous thank you so much sister Patience you're also looking beautiful intinamika mo say the gawa our jumedi no and our sugusu a uti no gawa ejina homa Ghanaian Healthcare Workers Association healthcare professionals and yakeka your ho abubu mu say na watwi bia no yanim ba be hia mu ofidue mu hanom na yanim abetwetwe apomuden ho enkomo nti ene apomuden ho nkomo a ye twetwe mental health awareness month May mu no into psychosis ho komo na ye twetwen sister Nidia Hadges say good evening interesting show very educational love it thank you so much for loving it if you have any comment or any question you can post it at the comment section and we're going to give you an answer Mr. George Bachawu mood swings and it's nema yabubo sui. Does it ever go away? And I say it depends on your case.
Well, mood swinging, like I said, no, it's one of the cardinal signs of somebody who is suffering from bipolar. Until like I was talking about the neurotransmitters, dopamine is one of the transmitters that it's involved in mood swings. And if the person has high dopamine, their mood is high. When they get low, their mood is low. So internet is bipolar or no, it's either high or low. So when they are on medication, it stabilizes them. But when they are not, that is when at a time sometimes I see people, they are so depressed, they don't even talk.
Yeah.
For months on kasa. But when they start taking medication and the medication starts kicking in and balancing them, they will see them talking. Then it's like, hey, nipa isa onye mum. It's very difficult when people are going through that. But with medication, no, it helps. But the mood swings, if you are not on any medication, you have it, because it depends on how the transmitters are working in your brain. When it's the dopamine is in high production in the synapses, you get elevation in your mood. When it's low, you become depressed. So it's something that we shouldn't take that for granted, especially when it comes to the kids, because that's when it starts developing. Because a lot of children, they have this kind of mood swing. It's a very good sign. I say you're starting here, then you're seeking help for them.
The autism also categories.
No, autism is a whole different thing altogether. And autism is not mental illness. We cannot combine. We intimify and compare mental illness, because the way it's diagnosed is totally different from because somebody can be autistic, very smart, very how do I say it? Very artistic, perfect. But when you talk about mental illness, it stops you from functioning properly. Into autism, it's totally different. Totally different.
Okay, and then I'm not quiet. It was for Namika say the Gawa our Jumedi, and our Sugusu Uti, Major about from Kratova say, not yet to a Jumedi, so it was for. So upe enku papa asra ama already atoswa me say enku American farmer wa our cast organic mixtures our cast enku mesra bi ti se bi di ho adanse a na minim de meka se wo ye kokko na pese kokko no mojeje kama our cast se bra na kache so ye tuntum anasa ye chocolate anasa wo pese wo redie no etoso na ha se me de ya me say osra enku na empopo se wo hwe me nsechi a empopo wo nsechi ema wo redie no toso na ha akes ewo enema bebre omo facial gel some more scrubs some more bibiara a wo pebia wo betime nso ahwehwe omo achi akwan o Facebook and honest obehwehwe the CEO of our case no edin ye Veronica yeboa unya type obehu enema wo ni nyina ewo ni page ne so for our case na kwaje wo de and honest go be from 917-831-3155 917-836-3155 our case include a masra emema de no OG shades nti se mu se OG ni skin no twagusu kama sa na chese our case include na for this ra nti se wo pebia eno ane se number na me boy no obefre ofre na enku no customize nti wo fra nya se wo fra se ya no the amount obebisa o say the skin type no tie ebia na nenso obe na ayewa na say juba bi na egu na say rashes bi na atie egu ho woni ne twetwe sa nkomo na wahwe so na waye nku no na ode abro se omeli de brewa all over obemeli e de abro ene se ono anso e de brewa na ode abro se wo pe cable ne bo no wo form pa eno an e de nkra digit box. Yes, I didn't craft for your digit box. So channel bia upe bia no ebi woso nti no wotitu mama wa se TV no smart TV enya afi na obeto equipment bia TV ni smart TV eno ne se otiatum otitu ma wie nso a otimi e de two phone so me de ne da me phone so nti se djuma de me pese me hwe ne se ya eno ane se me hwe no me phone yi so bia okobia TV on the go na wo phone ekra wo nti frɛ DJ Jam ewo 347-350-1857 na kwaje wodie oyema wa $10 a month oyema wa utimi di edit two phone so utimi di to laptop so utimi di to or tablet so all the TV channels any movies ESPN BN Sports maybe a huge soccer fan into the me soccer into eno ane say what cost so channels no is about 280 for $10 a month. Uji cable other channels are opaka ho bia no they charge you extra, but we there waka ne nyina abomu amayen baako. Ghana channels nyina wo so nti se ope oyerepa anase ope UTV anase ope Kesben ne de akeka ho ne nyina e wo so a obetimi ahye. Afi na me kai mo se ope baabi e de ayewo event eno ane Prospect Plaza Hall into no ofre wo mo a me de number ne beto so ofre wo mo a e ho no fa nipa bet se 400 into se ofre wo mo a e Bronx he ya ubetimi enya a good discount and answer because say unya number no efi edinkra e ho very nice makoho no matwa e ho video e de ato me Facebook page into se okoho no mo ye opening no me call ye masako events or ho no very very nice omo bathroom sukra ne kumi e ho ye very serene into se ope baby aye event say outdoor say ye party and na woto a and one say me can for Prospect Plaza Hall at the amount me the better platform me the better screen so now wafa number no it was for na me can say the gawa our jimedi no and our sugusu wutie no and ye brother George Owusu apia and etchin komo efa mental health no and the topic no psychosis into no say o asem bisa utimi e de wasem eto hono na ye wabisa ebusia say wo ko Ghana ana say na wo pe car arrent a me kan for charisma auto group e de amount omo car bia wo pe bia kodi uboga sem ma uboga ye enye fe e wo oman Ghana mu car bia wo pe adamu bia no omu bi se eye kuompo e na mo pe vans ana se minivans de aye ade a charisma auto group se uni how and on say obefre omo e wo 347 but me the screen me the atu screen ne so ti numbers na e wo so no ofra ubenya bi and on say obebo say wo je number no fi edinkra honom omo be ma discount inti free charisma auto group na ene omo indi ensa wo so the gawa our jimedi ubetimi ahye on Facebook and also betimi so ahye on YouTube and I say all the edinkra platforms ubetimi so ahye on www.edinkra.ny.com inti se ase obi ewo asembisa ekwan ewo so sister Judith Boahen o so o share and Mr. Sister Cynthia Donko and so so Mr. Dominic Echampon so o share and Mr. Prince Alex Nkrumah and so o share say o asembisa ekwan ewo honum Mr. George inti what causes psychosis? What are some of the causes of psychosis?
Like I earlier said, any one particular thing causes psychosis. It can be an environmental factor, it can be a genetic predisposition, and it can be a physical, occurrence. Say, be a head trauma, and I say. Before say you had an infection in the womb, so as you develop, it can affect your brain, and then like I said, when you are genetically predisposed, mental illness runs in the family, you can also have that, and so any one particular thing also, how I say. Mental illness is not caused by bad parenting. That is a myth. There are real issues that causes that. And like I said earlier, the age range, when people go through stresses, into some develop when they are in college, when they go to college from the beginning, I say from high school to college, the stress become high, and the expectation of the family, on them, that can trigger if they have any other it may trigger or more develop mental illness. It is not one thing that we can pinpoint to say, and then also psychosis. So there are a group of factors that causes psychosis.
Okay. ebusan for meje abafo nkrato aba sese ya se wo pega by papa puna anase asobayra eno ane se mekanfo number e de amount 9148634274 omo by papa ofre omo a omo de bebrel ewo efie anase omo be kire omo akache na wakoho na akwaje obayre omo bayre no so ebo no eda form say bete ebo no eye fofofo sikamane a aba edwaman so lollycash na obia edi ho nkomo obia se eye omo rate no wo soro sisi aye ka say ene number 14 Ghana inti no me kan for lollycash e de amount me use lollycash inti no na me ka ho asem wo download asese ya partial na edemu wo ye ya efa banks ni nyina ebi oho no mo a ebi oho some of the transfers no efa ebi a MTN nko a we so de efa ni nyina lollycash omo aso na efa yembo trade ihu kenyina the proud sponsors of the Edinkra all white boat ride no in this say ya me ne o ka say $1 is equal to 14.14 Ghana cedis omo de no e wo soro chen baby a wo pese wo ye business for Ghana now pese ye send sika enka ne ye business a omo ton ne ma na no ma first ka na di no ma yen stories lollycash so we is how ni na efi ho no mo e de amayen o send e a omo wo Ghana otimi do e download lollycash no inti no ane say wo send this kind de abetu e de ama me wa ha no say usika no mensa usika nema me ton ye ne sika ni nie beji usika enye ene na anase me de ama obi anase rate no asesa na say bia inti lollycash say download app no wo download app number so baby say wo promo code and anase obebo Edinkra e de ahye so ADINKRA lollycash eno an obi ayisu lollycash obi ase eye ebusiafo enche ye be sorry so inti se o asembisa eno anase o de beto comment section no ede amayen na yetimi ebisa wetimi ebisa o question ene yem brother Mr. George usu apia ena echichi nkomo efa psychosis ho ye toda na ye hu mental health ye hu mental illness se obi asunsun ade na ye de tempaibo na ya bompa ye ya ba anamo a se yetu ede tai empaibo na chi no ye ntu sa anamo no esan se obi hu process sebe o mental health issue a na ye de stigma atare ye ho ntini ye nim obi a o go through krana ye nka ho asem eno nti na Ghanaian Healthcare Workers Association ye ne Edinkra for ye se na watwe bia ye no ma be hyiamu efiduamu ha ne abetwetwe apomuden ho nkomo ye topics bebre na ene no esan se topic we so topic a ye ntai enka ho asem inti no ya say ye beka ho asem ye bedi ho nkomo se de be ya obi a bema ne ni ada ho no na se uni obi wo ho ana so ne obi na ma obehwe nipa ne nantie mu wo hwe na se nema enkoso yie ebia no obi ho na ne gibibi ho but all of a sudden na wajai ne behavior sesa na ebia watimi a recommend na so atwe nipa na bia sisu se menua we na me ho wo hu ntie ne yenko na ko hu doctor se de be ya ye betimi aso ano ama imprepi no ye taima nema eje yensem ansana yetu ho anamon enenti na de gawa awajumedie no yaba se ba be kyerɛkyerɛ ensemu yene mo betwetwe apomudie ho nkomo se de be ya yebetimi aboye ho ban na yenyi ache ebi o so de adaje ni nyina ayesikape nti no appointment cry yenko eno ne se sorry ayeti adwuma mu saa obi oho no ma ye man appointment cry otimi cancel appointment no so menye overtime ntimi ekọ enti mom yenko na yenko ye hospitals obronisi prevention is better than cure utu wa pomode ho anamo no na ama eno so eboa ama wanyi ache because yare bi oho no ma eba ema won kaye ubehu na ehihye oho no fe na afi na agensem ubehu gone too soon partial se ya na oda hono nti moma yenhwe yapomode hu nsem yema yapomode hu nsem ehia yen se de be ya ebetimi atenase ache ye de abusua ene adofo ebetenase yema ebetenase ache the gawa awajimedie no ena wasuduso a utie no ene yese psychosis hu nsem at least no yabobo bebre so ewo mu ahoro bebre nti no enye ni nyina ena ejina fa akon ba so hu ne ntem na se yeso ano ntem ma wa obi hu ana ohu ato ebi oho no ma ye doctors ne ye lawyers nyina mpo no ene bra ma ehu se ebi mu krampo eda edro so but otimi e na adwuma all right ana
etisa pa
intino edro ne de ye de be ma o de ne se wo benom se de be kire se wo benom no wonom ne sa obi hu ana ohu ato na ona wokọ obabi entimi entu ase krema na so yebetimi asoso ano ede ama entino na meka se the gawa awajumedi no eso na wasuguso a utie nyame adoma next week yebesan ba be hyiamu e wa hanom na yede nkomotwetwe no asan abremo the gawa awajumedi no me na me host no na wachi bia ba se nyame adom menya obi nso ede aka me ho ase ko ba ne se mintimi emma ono nso obeba na waba beto aso anaso waba betena mu ede ama me nti sister Patience Anthony na kese se nka me ne ba last week you know na me introduction no but yenya a little cancellation along the line ti me ama nti ono no ebeba Thursdays say eda me mentimi ama me ba Wednesdays and I say depending on the availability of young guests no guests ni bi on my Fridays no me available e be Wednesdays e be Thursdays nti say me available na say guests na available Thursday yes sister Patience and I be ba take over na wa ba be jumedi no nti na inti nkai bokakra e wo ho no yes sister Patience so o host program e wo ha Sunday afternoon and sana uji aba inti no as time goes by no we be hu yes sister Patience Reverend Patience Anthony will be taking will be the co-host for the Gawa Hour inti whenever I'm not available she will be here to host the program and she'll come on Thursday. So if I'm not here, please, when she comes, like you always come and watch me and comment, come and support Sister Patience so she can also get the program running. It was for Namika was said the Gawa Hour Jimedino and our Sugusu Uti no. Mr. George, but if you be and I say in Cranshansem Bay and I would be my ye ma I bring you up. You who near be a horn more, you bet me to a model marco na doctor a check your book. So, can I show you praise the Lord. So, be your horn, so hallelujah, amount.
Yo, let me say, no, asema here pa say, as parents and family members, no, be vigilant. Na who, the signs and symptoms no early signs na yehu na idi kan no na yetimi seek help for our our children, our family members, because a long life process of managing such illness. But say yehu ntem na yeso ano ntem a etimi manipa no live a very productive life. In terms of the treatment, it's not just medication. It goes in hand with psychotherapy. It could be individual session and as a group session. There are psychologists are more trained. Multimedia extraction will name be as because they make say one kasano one jan to so problem na yama wadrona one into this psychotherapy and group therapy, individual and group, and a be enlighten who say this is something that is normal. And you say, really normal, but a idea will be accepted. Say, say they be educate your family members in the animal about the condition of any animal woman, and with their treatment, and then like yes, therapy, so family members need more support. You be give more support, say we are there for them, we will support them. Baby, I say, for all those help na omuhiano. You bet me I provide their momo na ometimi anya good quality care. We must say any easy finding areas are offer these services, but in New York, we are very fortunate. We have a lot of places, nationwide. We have people, they call them Early Assessment and Support Alliance. We have Early Psychosis Intervention Network, and then the National Alliance on Mental Health Illness (NAMI). we are very, well-funded organizations are help. So these are some of the areas you can fall on them and seek help for our family members, our children, and people that we know, so that they can manage their situation and be productive in society. Other than that, it's going to be a burden on us, because unia and our busuya and our ba oko school went to me and suya there na went to me and graduate here now went to me and your person it becomes a burden on you. Into say wait to me you be bomo no mo betimi accept condition no mo be live a productive life. It takes that burden off us. Into afutu am between say we all have to be get involved. News a mental illness is not any other thing like regular say will be what diabetes and or high blood pressure. It's only say we don't see nipa na dwene mu into no ye nyina na ye be there ye be support to your home na you provide help, and now you more seek help from where they get help, and then so that they can also understand and take their medication that will help them to function properly. That's what I will say to
Yo, that's baby. Number two, insurance cover, because you really didn't kakra kentina. Me feel say nebo a home bo. Me bottom else until the me pay baby intina, and I say no so crown insurance etua no ho kana.
Yes, I mean said America hano and they can and they may be sometimes I am the yesterday my dream say obi no more act out I say wo Ghana and kay the mo boku be mu bi good mercy nsuo bi home we bi shimma we yare no kra better we so, but here they understand that this is a condition that affects almost 5% of the population. And most insurances have mental illnesses, acceptance, like you can use whatever work you do in insurance. Most of them accept our insurances for treatment and then medications for mental illness. In the end of the day, and as I say, a burden, because some of them no cry no, if you have or need insurance or cry no, they are taken care of, because God forbid, now it happens a lot. Obi push you into the tracks and then it's all affect the society. Yeah, and when they have those resources for these people now, a bit me the more they help the people for them to live a productive life, they eliminate that incidences of getting people hurt, hurting their family members, killing their children, and all that. Mental illness is well funded, and especially in New York, people should not have any reservation as to seeking help for family members or anybody who has an issue.
Okay. In schools, like maybe I say schools, so no more like counseling. Do you have to request for that? And I say, how does it work?
Yes, like Sabia, mostly mostly in schools, and I detective said there is something wrong with our children. And then they give us the referrals and say, but it's us, especially the Ghanaian community who've been resisting these help. And we have to take those help when we are offered into schools. They have guidance and counselors, coordinators. They have psychologists at in schools that talk to these kids, and then understand social workers who understand what is going on, and whatever help that they offer. I say accepting it me boy and because there's a lot of kids, and I see when this one now I change it into something else. Into the earlier the better. I see it. Yeah, accepting all those diagnoses. Yes, they are. A chrome hano I so ya target me by I say they don't just target your child, and I say for no reason. There are a lot of cases it's a drain on the budget and everything, but they feel say it's worthwhile spending that money to taking care of when somebody has a problem. The schools have those resources there for us.
Yo, for and America was said the Gawa our Jumedi, so and our Sugus are Uti, not make come for Prospect Plaza Hall rentals at their master open baby, a year, and I say open baby, a party, and I say open baby, a wedding event to be our person, make come for Prospect Plaza Hall at the amount address 1137 Prospect Avenue, our Bronx here, and I say Oberfre almost 646 643 6063. Offer o ma kase oje number no efi edinkra ho na onsa aka o discount. Ni so pe baby aye event bia eno na makanfo ede ama ono Prospect Plaza hall. A hall efa enipa best 400 or more. Nti no say e ho nso ye fe pa okwa obehu de making. Omo wo nice bathroom kitchen a omo asiesie ho no kama lightning so de enya asem ketwa nti me kanfo honom e de amount number no a obetimi afre wo mo 646 643 6063 frɛ omo na o event bia o ye no sama ye nim se sama e beba nti se we amfrɛ omo ntem a ube hu na yes hall no is fully booked nti yen frɛ na yen fa yeni enhwem wo honom na yentimi insecure hall no okwa ube hu se de making enye agrobi na media nti yen fa yeni nchirem wo ho na yen konkoje na yen konkoje yeni senso eye yie nso a na yen konkoye no wo honom kama ebusiafo ene aha na emrebe ma yen ho kwan ama yedide gawa awajumadi ni ebisi ansa na no Mr. George chia ebusiane adofo na yen sorry
yo we de etiefo nyina me da nyina se de nchia efi Edinkra studio edemo bibia me chia mabusiafo me hokafo na mecha friend Angie me ba panyi kwaku aya otaba ha be yi aya from real
ebusiafo kwaku papa ni yo
enti me de nchiama obibia na yedamase so se manya so na matie se ye nyina ye bobo ye ho na yetimi bring it up ye nkwara no in a way that ye ne ho a there will be an exemplary ombe lead exemplary life and so ebehye nyame enonyam na yenso ye nima benyam enti de nchiama obibia otie na enwumre nyame hira obibia
you answer na na me nchache me so be nchache ebusiane adofo since I guso ewo May mu de na chese Mother's Day no ye ninwie ebedi akwa akosi May 31st nti me ma me auntie Alice say mensa me ma happy Mother's Day to all the beautiful women across the globe, especially Gawa women Gawa for mame for me mamunyi na happy Mother's Day. Afi 1,000 more for so ye mamu happy Mother's Day. Sister Ivy Blue also o share Mr. John Oten also also o share Nana Ekwie Chan Gawa paparazzi ba kope also Sister Judith Boahen also Mr. Prince Alex Nkrumah also Sister Florence Ej also o share ebusiafo the Gawa awajumedi say ye ba na mo ameta ye chi ama ya nya enwie peye nti ye de aseda kese e ma mo se abre nyina mu no mo gi adwa na mo te se ya ba pe na ma ba beta ye chi Edinkra radio for ye see ye ni somo bebre. We love you all for always coming to support our programs nti e kira nyame ya adomo a from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. That's a morning show. Obeba. So we pay in Cranchester. So we pay Ghana newspaper review. Need the air coso ewa Ghana. That's a henny the nina ebe bremo. Inti Mr. Remo said me buy ya mo be support you. Mo me support that's a henny so program no. Kwesi ada ye nyina ye nim MCOG or also or the Edinkra show base no e de ebre yen ba na chese bebia ewu amayen MCOG me de aseda kese so the executive producer of the Gawa Hour Mr. Patrick Adolfo open tema for the DJ Jam DJ Jam no na yetai edi nim ne pa ono na otwi bia no chinchim ye fidie mayen ma ye betena ha no ma ye de Gawa Hour dwumadi no so e de bremo afi so na aseda kese ekoma ye sponsors Lollycash Arcades Byre Fie ene Prospect Plaza Hall Charisma Auto Group ene de keka ho nyina no yeda mwase bebre ese moso yasen na wotwe bia e ma yede de gawa awajumedie no ene jumedie a ekoso ewo efie he nyina ede bremu mede ni tina sapon nyame adoma da se ne yebesan ahia mu ha e wo de gawa awajumedie ne so makramo